So Season 4 has just been revealed for Modern Warfare 2, Warzone, and DMZ. So today we're breaking down everything you need to know to be in the loop. As we go along, drop your thoughts on what you think of this new offering that's being previewed, from the new map of Vondel to the new maps and multiplayer to everything in between. If you enjoy the video, you find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to stay updated with all things Modern Warfare 2, Warzone, and DMZ. I'd love to have you in the community as we gear up for Season 4. And finally, check out Gamer Advantage for the best blue light glasses on the market, but more on them in a bit. For now, let's jump into Season 4. So let's start out with the big marquee items. Warzone, no longer Warzone 2.0, but just Warzone, is getting a new Resurgence map called Vondel, fit for both Resurgence and DMZ, as well as a new mode coming a bit later on in the season, looking to be targeted for about 2 weeks after launch, called Lockdown, and then standard Battle Royale coming in season at some point. But Vondel comes with a new world, new gameplay features, and more, so let's dive into those. Vondel firstly was inspired by, not directly taken from, that mission in Amsterdam in the campaign, but you're apparently going to be fighting through new districts of the city through various numbers of points of interest, looking like a decent bit of water with all the canals, and it looks bright and vibrant, which I'm a fan of. Hard to find those dark corners to sit in if that's the case. But that is subject to change, of course, in some matches, as we'll get into in a second, with a new dynamic feature coming to Vondel. Now, for Resurgence in particular, perhaps one of the biggest things with this update is something that I didn't even know we really needed: dynamic resurgence timers. So it deals with the timer that it takes to redeploy depending on your squad size. And this new feature is done directly to combat people lagging out or leaving and their teams getting punished, so that you're not playing quads, and if you lose a player, you're not waiting that standard quads timer duration to get back into the play. Instead, you drop to then trios rule sets in quads, which is really cool, I think. This also makes more ways of play viable, because then you can do things like duos in quads, solos in quads, and you won't be wiped and the game's over. You'll have that solo resurgence rule set applied to you automatically, which is really cool. I get the feeling we're going to see a lot of solo demons in quads lobbies upcoming. And we also see the Vengeance icon introduced here, which is a directional indicator, not specific, tied to the killer of your squad mate in resurgence modes. I don't know that I like this one too much by comparison on paper, but we'll have to wait to see how it all plays out. But the timer is there for your squad mate and is there until he's back into the fight. They explained that this was going to be something that was meant for squads that don't have mics and need to communicate a bit further, which is, if that's the case, valid, sure, but I think it just might be annoying in actual gameplay. We'll see the new TAV vehicle, something that goes on and off water. That's exclusive to Vondel. We'll see the return of the favorite, or what was previously the personal supply boxes, as an unlock of the Assault on Vondel event, coming as seemingly global changes to everybody, but it's the supply boxes that will randomly be around Vondel that will then allow you to have your favorite 2 weapons of your denoted favorite class, getting your loadout minus perks and equipment essentially, and I like that that's coming back big time. We'll see the reinforcement flare here, which is something that says it can be bought from a buy station or found via scavenging, but it will end up redeploying one random teammate. You don't get to choose like you could if you end up buying somebody back from a buy station, but instead it'll just pick a random squad mate that you have that is down to bring them back into the fight. We also learned about the new high stakes event, which is a loadout style crate that will drop from the sky in random matches, and capturing them grants double weapon XP and player XP for the duration of the match, but also stacking on top of existing used tokens, making quad XP if you already have those enabled. Now, we'll also see, as a sort of transition from Resurgence into then DMZ on Vondel, dynamic fog. Across Resurgence and DMZ, we'll see this new dynamic element, something that will play on the realism with all the water in play, but it's the possibility of it happening. Dynamic meaning that it's not guaranteed and the degree is never promised either. So this will be something that's a random in-game event that happens, which then opens the possibility further of other dynamic events in Warzone in the future. Will we be able to see rainstorms, sandstorms like we had in Al Mazrah? Will we see day and night cycles for maps? I'm intrigued for where this goes as a sort of end game mechanic, where it goes in the future. But jumping over to DMZ quickly before I jump into MP, DMZ is getting some substantial updates. Along with that reset that's happening, we'll see a few things. A forward operating base being introduced in the menus, which is a central hub for DMZ that allows players to complete objectives, earn a variety of upgrades in the different categories of a stash, which includes the wallet and key stash increases, a weapons locker, which is insured and contraband armaments and upgrades, a bounty board for exfil, bartering recipes, and buy station discounts, and a communication station, which allows for urgent mission access. Now, urgent missions, reputations, and wallets were also debuted here with this blog post, where urgent missions are the type of faction requested task, usually quicker to complete than a full-on faction mission, but they can unlock more story missions and give more agency to faction missions, but also allows you to earn reputation, allowing you to unlock insured weapon slots, the out-of-game wallet, as well as expanding elements like stashes and wallet capacity. And the wallet, as something that's mentioned a couple of times here now, that will allow you to keep extracted cash and the ability to re-enter with cash on hand to start, not zero every single time you infill. Now, it doesn't seem like this is going to be something that you can buy things out of game perhaps just yet, but I'd be curious to see if that changes in the future where there are redeemable rewards you can end up buying out of game, or what this means also then for the cost of items in game if you can jump in with more cash on hand, and if there'd be something to grind after. I mean, like, imagine a nuke or something in DMZ for 100 million or something like that. It'd be kind of crazy, but you know that you'd be going for it, myself included. We also see the new faction of the Phalanx. This is something that doesn't have any real information tied to it, but they detailed a full DMZ blog is coming on the 9th to detail this and of course the coming changes also to DMZ. But jumping over to multiplayer, first and foremost, we have 7 maps coming in Season 4, and that, in terms of quantity-wise, I can get behind. Some 6v6, some ground war, some gunfight. I'd like to see face-off be a staple mode that I can experience all of these in the high action that I like, but that's a personal side note. 6v6 will see at launch Showdown, which is returned from COD 4 and COD 4 Remastered, as well as a point of interest in Al Mazrah. We'll see the, and I hope I pronounced this right, Kunstanar District, which is part of Vondel. We'll see in ground war Marshlands and Akhtar Village, both from Al Mazrah, introduced here. That shouldn't be any surprise. Every ground war map is taken from the larger Battle Royale map. Gunfight at launch, we'll see Mercado, which is the interior of that station and market building that you see from Guijaro, and then also Penthouse, which looks brand new to me. It seems inspired by the Chicago level of the campaign, but I don't recall that exact layout being a part of the mission layout, but I could be wrong on that one. And then in season, we'll see the Vondel waterfront looking fairly open. Looks to be floating buildings and docks here with that. I'm sure that if it is from Vondel here, we'll end up being able to get an appreciation of the layout here once the map actually launches, before the 66 map launches, since obviously that's coming in season. So I don't know if this is just like a system shock of seeing the number of 7 instead of like 3 or 4 previously, but initially at least, I'm cool with this. It seems like while spread out a bit across various modes, it's more than we've gotten in the past seasons. Of course, I still would love to see more completely original things, but I mean, to a degree, maps that are shared from Vondel are original right now since we don't have any prior knowledge of them, but we'll see how that sort of feeling continues or passes in time. Beyond that, we see new weapons of the Tempest Razorback, that being a new assault rifle, the ISO 45 SMG, the Tonfa melee weapon as a part of the Assault on Vondel event, that being the presumably last unlock you end up getting for completing the entire event. But then, while we only have 3 listed here at launch, 2 in Battle Pass, 1 in that event, it is said that we will expect a redacted shotgun to be added to your arsenal at this Season 4 mid-season. So I'm not a shotgun guy. That's a bit of a bummer to hear for me because I probably won't engage with it too much, but it is what it is, confirming at least we won't just have 3. I still think the weapons on offer by comparison are a little lower than what we've seen in the past, and not necessarily too pleased with all that. Anyways, new operators, we have Nikto. Obviously, he's the standout from the key art. We have Io, who's a new Black Cell operator, confirming that, again, we do have Black Cell returning. That seems to be the new thing going forward here instead of the Battle Pass bundle, so unfortunate there with that. We have Anna Vega, and then in season, Izzy and Butch, both coming in bundles. Anyways, the raid was the final gameplay thing here that was detailed, where strangely, this was detailed as the final raid coming with Season 4 Reloaded. So not at launch, but of course at that mid-season as we normally have seen so far. But it's odd considering we have at least 1 more season in the books. Maybe if we end up going 6, again, no confirmation or denial there from both official or really leaked capacities. But anyways, they said prepare your trio for the exciting conclusion to the raid series before redacted. So I'm curious to see what will happen in that sort of Season 5 time frame, because at that point, as we've talked about, Modern Warfare 3, according to leaks and rumors, should be revealed by the end of Season 4. Season 5 is something that is going to happen about a week or 2 after that launch date of the sort of proposed reveal for Modern Warfare 3. So it could be something that then we see a gameplay related bridge between the raids and the story that continued from Modern Warfare 2 to where we see the campaign for a Modern Warfare 3 going. So that could be that middle point and connecting both the tail end and the beginning of one chapter to the next. So we'll see how that works out, but we also see we'll end up earning the new Farah skin for the raid, giving you all of Task Force 141 through the raid at that point. But beyond that, we have new ranked rewards and unlocks. These now, of course, accommodating for a full season in Warzone ranked. And then we have new prestiges going all the way up to level 850. Myself, got a lot of grinding to do if I actually really want to hit that next max level, because, well, I don't even think I still hit 450 yet. But anyways, that is Season 4 in a nutshell, everything that we learned here about this, so that is where we're gonna call it. Before we wrap everything up, though, make sure you check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage for the best blue light glasses on the market. I've worked with the team now for over 2 years, and they've been without a doubt one of, if not the most beneficial partners I've worked with in terms of my daily productivity in that time. Sitting at a desk for 8 to 10 hours a day looking at a monitor absolutely was something that I felt the effects of eye fatigue and the strain of all of that. So having switched to Gamer Advantage, though, head and shoulders above any sort of generic pair I found on Amazon. Absolutely felt the help of all of that. They're the most comfortable, lightweight, and durable frames on the market. So if you guys like to learn more, learn the science behind it, the clinical studies, links in the description below if you guys want to check that out. But if you guys want to pick something up for yourself, use code Espresso for 10% off your entire order. But that said, that is what we're gonna call it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Are you looking forward to season 4 so far? Honestly, on paper at least, it seems like a much larger season than the ones we've seen in the past, which is kind of unfortunately. We kind of have like a season that looks to make some substantial changes, but it's taken over 6 months now at this point to end up getting those. But I mean, I'm curious to see how this all plays out, if it does live up to any expectations. But that's where we're at here with this. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to stay there with all things Modern Warfare 2, Warzone, and anything COD related. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name's been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.